That guy you just heard, he's here. Mr. Bobby Sullins is here. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. Good morning, Stan.
Doing good. Very good. Very good. Good to have you here, my friend.
Well, thank you.
You know, and to talk about our radiology department at SMH.
SMH, that's correct.
You know, we kind of lose the D in there. It's still there, but it's not what we're trying to promote anymore. But Bobby, looked great. Fantastic.
Right. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Understand Licking won the conference last night?
Yeah, we won our conference, Frisco League, so boys and girls this year. So we had to
Sweep.
We had to sweep it up.
Sweep.
Yeah. We tournament and the season champ. So we're pretty pumped, living that up. Got districts coming up, so it's going to be
very soon.
We'll see if we can do anything.
There you go. Well, good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
To the Wildcats over their way, and they have a pretty salty team, so they should be okay.
Yeah, you know, district plays.
You never know.
You never know.
No, you don't know. One bad night and that's it.
You're done. Yep, that's right.
Or someone gets really hot on another team and you can't stop them. And
it's been a fun ride no matter what, though. I've enjoyed it.
There you go. We really appreciate your support locally, not only here in Salem, but also in Licking. And,
sure.
and that's what it's all about. You got to keep that money here in the rural areas. They need it more than they do up in St. Louis, Columbia, Springfield.
Yep, we got to support our locals.
Support our locals. Speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about our services that we have here at SMDH or SMH, whichever you prefer. Okay, but we have probably one of the most advanced radiology departments in the area, don't we?
We sure do. Yeah, the hospital has done a very good job about supporting the needs for the community, and that includes we have an MRI machine, which is a big bore MRI, capable of up to patients up to 450 pounds. We got the brand new CT machine just brought in back in September. That actually has a 660-pound weight limit. So
wow,
it's it's, as we know, population keeps the way the population is. We've got to be able to service the people of the area, and so the hospital did an excellent job about supporting and giving us this top-notch equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone we have a 3D mammography machine, which is excellent for screening tools. We have ultrasound, which we do echocardiograms, everything from basic obstetrics to abdominal work to echoes, like I said. And we have the DEXA machine, which is done for bone density.
Mm-hmm.
We have, of course, standard x-rays. And we also offer a nuclear medicine service. It's a contracted service. We offer 2 days a week. And then they actually do cardiac stress tests with that. In the near future, we're going to be offering calcium scoring on the CT side of thing, and the possibility to offer coronary angiography. So there will be some opportunities, once again, to be able to put a new line of services in for the community.
When you start talking about this, and let's just go back to MRI and open bore. People, they'll say, open bore. Well, all MRIs have an open bore. Well, yeah, they have a small open bore. And this one, you just don't feel like you're a sardine, do you?
Correct. I mean, I think anybody that's had an MRI and have any kind of claustrophobia issues, that's sometimes putting in a tight spot is kind of a rough thing. And so in MRI, there's what they call a closed bore, which is the standard MRI, which is more of a tight fit. We have an open bore, which is just means a larger hole and more room you don't feel like you're snugged up against the bore itself. They also offer an open MRI. But the open MRIs are good for certain things. It's like, it almost looks like a sandwich. You got 2 pieces of bread and you're in the middle. Mm-hmm. So there is opening on the sides. But the problem of it is the image quality decreases drastically unless you're doing very small body parts. The hospital decided that we want to have the best image quality at the same time with the most comfort for the patient.
And that magnetic resonance is what makes it happen. And if you have an open side, you're not getting that. You're not getting the full 360, are you?
Sure, you're not. Yeah. I mean, physics 101. MRI physics is that is a strain. I don't know how somebody could invent that, but absolutely right. The magnet itself controls the image quality, so you want to keep that magnetic strength contained, right. And so that's why we were just really lucky to be able to have the one we have.
And talk about CTs a little bit. People sometimes they hear about it. They might hear about it in sports or hear about somebody had a CAT scan or they had an MRI. They really don't know what it's all about. There's reasons for that because there's certain things that X-rays just can't see.
Yeah, I mean, so CT is more of a 360-degree X-ray tool, and so with all the technology now is unbelievable. We can see lesions as small as 0.5 millimeters. We can do 250 images in about 4 seconds. I mean, these things are, CT is the tool of choice for advanced imaging.
Yeah.
It's quick, painless,
And the thing about what we're talking about is a lot of times when people first start having an issue, this is the time to get that MRI, to get that CT, because if there is something there, it can be detected way early.
Way early, yep. I mean, as we know that anytime you have any kind of disease process, you want to catch the earlier the better. And so, talk to your provider. And if a CT or an MRI is what's recommended, then we're happy to do it for you.
That's right. And a lot of times when you injure yourself, somebody makes a misstep. You can tear a meniscus just stepping off a step. It doesn't take. Everybody says, "Oh, that guy in the football field, he's going to get that." And when they're twisting his leg around, and you saw what Patrick Mahomes did in his high ankle sprain. Those things. You need what we have offered right here to see exactly what that is, because you don't really know what you're treating until you can see it. Can you?
Oh, yeah. X-rays can only do so much. I mean,
Right.
X-rays, of course, they show bone and they can show, different type of structural issues. But when you're talking about, soft tissue, ligaments, tendons, these type of things, I mean, MRI is the modality of choice.
And without that, you're possibly treating it incorrectly.
Sure. If you have a high ankle sprain with you can go to physical therapy and get that treated that way. But they have things called microfractures that can be shown that. A lot of times people don't understand that you can get an X-ray, and the X-ray may be, quote, normal, but you still have symptoms. The doctor may recommend one of these advanced imagings, and then you find out that the X-ray couldn't show because of the sensitivity of the advanced testing.
I had a spiral fracture in my arm one time, and a lot of people never even heard of it, and I had never really heard of a spiral fracture. And then I went and got an X-ray, and they said, well, we need to take a different look at that. That looks like you have a crack in your bone, but it's not. We think there's something else.
Oh.
And when they did, they found out that it was a crack that started from my elbow and circled in my bone almost up to my shoulder. Just a very minor crack, but all the way through. And I really fell on my elbow real hard. And when I did that, it compressed the bone. But when it did, it kind of just broke it. It's a spiral fracture, like a spring.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt. I didn't feel any pain until somebody touched it, laid on it, or I laid on it incorrectly, or put my elbow down and put all my weight on it. And then all of a sudden you're kind of screaming in agony. But, somebody said, well, what do you do for it? I said, you really can't do anything. You just want to keep your arm from twisting, turning, doing different things where you put strain and stress on the bone. And so, I had a real good doctor, and I was playing softball at the time, and he said, well, I guess your softball playing days are over. You're right-handed batter, right? I said, yeah. And I said, what if I hit left-handed? He goes, you're fine. You're not turning that arm over. You're keeping that arm straight. Now, if you have to turn it over, you're going with the wrist. You're going to be hurting. And I said, okay. So he said, "You go ahead. If you want bat left-handed, it's fine." I said, well, it was my left arm, so I didn't have any problem throwing or anything. He said, "You're good to go. If you want to do that," he said. "However, I want to tell you right now, if somebody lands on that arm, it could
snap,
shatter."
Oh boy.
But that's the thing you take the chance on.
Sure.
But if you don't know that, Bobby, let's just say I did that, and they say, oh, there's a little crack in your bone. Here, we're going to treat it as a broken arm. Well, it is a broken arm, but it's not just here. It's here. See, what they saw was a little mark here, a little mark here, a little mark here, and they saw three of them, and they're like, that's really unusual. So I had to go get an MRI, and then they looked at it, and they said, oh, we see something else on the other side. And then I got a CAT scan. They said they saw the whole thing. So they sent me through all three of them to finally get the correct diagnosis, actually, what I had. So it's very important that you have that right here in your local hospital. You have all three.
Yeah, and the one thing that we really strive to do, Stan, is we try to, we understand that patients don't like to wait for their services. So we do everything we can to get the patient in as soon as possible. We try to get results as quickly as possible. So there's nothing worse than having anxiety about, if I'm in pain, I want to know answers. And so we do our part about trying to get patients in, get patient results, get the results to the physician. That way the doctor can determine with the patient on the appropriate treatment for that.
Well, Bobby, you know as well as I do, these kind of services that Salem is offering are not normal for small town hospitals or even critical access hospitals. This is just not normal.
We are extremely fortunate. The radiology staff is competent, knowledgeable, and super friendly. they are good people. And
a lot of jokesters down there.
Jokesters,
They have a lot of fun.
One thing about working in a small community and I mean, it is a family orientated, place. And so people genuinely care for you. You're not just a number. We try to be polite because no one's just coming to the hospital to hang out. People are going through, issues. And so we try to do our part as professionally as we can. And we know that to expedite the results is important. And, we also work hand in hand with the physicians. And so we try to do the appropriate tests at all times. And we just put our best foot forward and try to take care of each other.
We know it with today's insurance, where a lot of times insurance companies don't want to pay for some of the tests that you might need. And if they don't see a need, they may say, we're not going to pay for that CAT scan, or we're not going to pay for that MRI. You can actually get that scheduled on your own, can't you?
Yeah, you can. And we've introduced what they call a cash price option. So sometimes insurances will kick back. It's like your doctor may say, you need an MRI. Insurances will be like, no, we're not going to pay for it. And you have a high deductible. Say if you got there's some deductible plans that are, $5,000, $6,500
Right.
deductible. We do have a cash price option now where a patient can possibly look into that. It's a low fixed rated cost for the exam and for the read. And then that way they don't have to go through insurance. They can just go ahead and get their test. They don't have to monkey around with
Right.
the insurance part of it. And we try to do that so patients can have a reasonable access to health care. Because as you know, no one likes to be told they can't have something because insurance, is saying no, and things are just so expensive. So we did do a cash price option for some MRIs, for CT, for some X-rays, and so that is an option for anybody that can want to take advantage of it.
Well, and sometimes it's the thing is, you get hurt today, and you got to go call the insurance company, or your doctor does, and then you wait. And you wait, and you never hear back. Or then they want more information. Hey, I need to get this done today, tomorrow, soon. I need to get it done soon. You don't want to do anything because you don't know what it is.
Right.
And you don't want to take a chance on anything. So instead of waiting for the insurance company, if you don't want to wait on the insurance, go ahead and get it scheduled and get it done.
Sure. And the one thing that I don't think gets talked about enough is if you and I are going to go buy a car, we're going to go shop around for this. We're going to try to get the best bang for our buck, right?
You bet.
Salem Memorial Hospital is we are cost effective for patients. I mean, right now they have a thing called a price transparency tool on all websites for any hospital.
Right.
You can go right on the hospital's website and you can see what a CT is going to cost at one facility compared to another facility. And the old saying of, penny saved is a penny earned is important, especially we can offer a lower price option. I think we give excellent customer service. We get you in and out at a reasonable time. We have the technology now is instantaneous when it comes to digital transfer of images. So we can transfer any images to anywhere. I mean, it's the 21st century, so that's good.
One of the things though, Bobby, and this kind of goes back maybe to the old way of doing it. A lot of times you go to your doctor and they recommend a place to go, and you don't know any better. You're following your doctor's advice, and they may say, "Oh, we need to send you to St. Louis for this X-ray or this CT or whatever." Well, here's the issue, and I have a little bit of issue with that, is that doctor has no idea how new their equipment is or old. It's just that's what they've been doing for years, or maybe that's always been their protocol. When you look at what the Salem Hospital has done with the new equipment that they have bought, and I mean new, we're talking about an MRI, a year old? Yeah. CT, a little over a year old. Your X-ray's not very old at all. You got a mammography unit that's 2 years old. This is new equipment, and probably, as we mentioned, probably the most sophisticated equipment, even in the immediate area, better than some of the larger hospitals.
Yeah, I mean,
at a lesser price.
So, I mean, really, honestly, if a physician requests a patient to get an imaging test, I mean, ultimately, it's the patient can go wherever they want to go. Mm-hmm. They may recommend, but ultimately, like if you're going to save 50% of the cost, it's something you at least should think about.
Right.
And especially a lot of MRI is one of those things that a lot of facilities you're scheduled out 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, we're going to do everything we can to get you in that week, sometimes in the next day. And so I just wouldn't want to spend a whole day driving up to St. Louis to go get an imaging test and have to wait 2 weeks to do it when you can do half the price and get it done possibly in the next couple of days.
Right.
Local.
And as well as I do, the larger cities now have imaging resources all by themselves. Okay. You can actually go to a business, and that's all they do is CAT scans, MRIs, and things. and they sell their services, well, you're paying for all their overhead when you do that.
Yeah.
Here at Salem Hospital, you're not paying for the additional overhead. You're paying for what the hospital already has invested. So it's already here in your community. You don't have to waste the gas to go up there. You don't have to waste the time. It's right here. Find out about it right here. And do, as you're saying, compare not only cost, but compare machines. If you don't know enough about the machines, ask questions.
Yeah, there you go. I think ultimately, when it comes to your health care, we at Salem Hospital, the things we do really well. And so that's our ultimate goal, is to do things extremely well, make it convenient for the patient, and at all times, be patient-centered.
So if somebody wants to schedule an MRI, CT, X-ray, they have a thing called central scheduling, don't they?
Yeah, they do. We have a scheduling department. They go through all the scheduling the patients, looking through their insurance, make sure that there's what's called pre-authorizations, make sure that everything's lined out. So that we have a direct number for those guys. You give them a call, they'll get you set up, and any kind of we try to make sure that we're flexible with our schedule. There's some patients that have limited time frames.
Sure.
Maybe we have to scan them during their lunch hour or whatever we have to do. We try to maintain flexibility so we can get people in and out and get them taken care of.
So, and you have that number for central scheduling by chance?
Yep, I do. It's 453-5952. That's 453-5952. Give them a holler. They'll get everything set up. They can also talk to you about the cash price option too. If you have if you need an X-ray of your ankle and you don't want to go through insurance, they can tell you the exact price of that right there, and hopefully get you taken care of.
Get you scheduled in. And we highly recommend, obviously, we want you to use Salem Hospital. We highly recommend, though, when you're going to go and get these kind of tests, to look at your local option first. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you time. And you're going to be helping out your own local hospital as well, because you guys like to stay busy. You guys usually are pretty busy, but I mean, you like to stay that way.
Sure.
And as you mentioned earlier, it's family. You're treating people in either somebody in your department probably knows this person coming in.
Oh yeah.
Or if they don't know them, they know somebody in their family, and sooner or later you just end up starting to talk, and you start to visit, and you get your test done, and then then you're walking away, and you start talking again about other people in the family. So it really is a family atmosphere. It's a lot of fun too. Those guys joke around all the time. It's a serious business.
Yeah.
But you have to be lighthearted and let people feel comfortable in getting these tests, because a lot of them have never had a CAT scan. They've never had an MRI, and they're apprehensive.
Oh, big time. Yep. We see that a lot. The main thing with us is we love Salem. We love the community. We want the hospital to thrive. That way we can offer high quality health care at a reasonable cost in this area. We want to be here, and so that is our ultimate goal. We want to be here. We want to support the community, and we need the local support as well.
Very good. Well, Bobby, I appreciate you coming in, spending some time with us. And you want to give that number for central scheduling one more time?
Central scheduling is 453-5952. That's 453-5952. Give them a holler, and we'll get you taken care of.
Very good. If somebody has a question about the radiology department, they can call you direct, can't they?
Call me directly, yep. And that number is 729-6626. Ask for Bobby Sullins, and 729-6626. Stan, thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Very good. And again, good luck in district play.
Cross my fingers.
Yeah. See how far the licking can go.
Yep.
We wish them the very best. Thank you, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Stick around. Civic Happenings next.
Made for agriculture. We are MFA.
Get your calves off to a good start with MFA.